I'm going to show you all the steps from the beginning to install Sqoop and make it running. The first prerequisite, you have to install MySQL. So it is very easy. What you need to do is install MySQL in the browser, and then you can go to the MySQL downloads for Mac, and you can click on that and select the DMG archive. Download it, double click, install it perfectly. If your Mac is generating a default password, accept it, but please keep a note of that password, and next time when you are starting it, it will ask you what is the password, and you will be given a chance to change it. At the time, give your old password which you have noted earlier and then type the new one. Next important thing is download MySQL Workbench. If you are familiar with the usage of MySQL from command prompt, you don't need it, but most of the people are not familiar, and please make sure that you are downloading it from mysql.com. So you can click on that, and then you can select MySQL Workbench for Mac OS, and then select the DMG archive and download. It will be nice if you have installed MySQL, do a restart and then install this workbench, so that the workbench will have the complete access to the running instances. Okay? Once these two steps are completed, you can try typing MySQL Workbench with a dolphin symbol, as you can see here, right? And you can click on the MySQL Workbench, and I will type in my password that I had set at the time of installation, and you will see the place for writing the queries. So if you have followed the session, I had given you a file called dump SQL in the UDA directory, and you can use that, and as you can see, you can query any table on the left hand side. So select star from policies dot insurance details, which is the name of my table, and then if I click on run, you will see that entire data is displayed, right? So far so good. Most important thing next is open a command prompt and try to run MySQL. If you have installed everything properly, this will be available. I have not given the user ID and password, so the correct command is -u root, because I am connecting as a root, and use the password, that is -p. Now it will ask me the password. Give the password for MySQL. So you can see that the MySQL prompt has come in. Once the prompt has come, then if you look at the databases that are installed, you will see all the databases that you have. Your results might be different, but most important database is MySQL. This database is coming along with MySQL, and it contains all the user information, right? And you should type use MySQL to go to that database. This is a MySQL command. Use the name of the database, then you will be going to that particular database. Okay, so use MySQL. So the database changed, right? Now please look at this particular query, and I would suggest you to look at this particular website, how to modify the max questions resource value in MySQL by Mike Kyong. So please look at that www.mykyong.com. So you can just search for this name and this particular text. You will get this particular link. So it shows how to connect it, and then go to the MySQL database, and then this is the query. So I'm going to copy this particular query, and then I go here and I'm going to paste that particular query, right? And you see, I had earlier set it as 10,000 as maximum questions. Now I'm going to change it, and I would suggest you to change it for all the my max questions with a maximum value. So I'm going and I'm taking this particular copy and then coming back here, and then I'm pasting it, and instead of my Kyong, my name is root, and instead of max questions equal to 0, I'm going to make it as 30,000, for example, and then press enter. And since you are a root user, the rows are changed, and if you write the query one more time, you will see that it is reflecting. Now to make sure that this is being reflected into the MySQL database, by typing the command flush privileges, so that the changes will take into effect. Yes, it is now permanently saved into MySQL. This is the prerequisite for installing MySQL and setting the users, right? One more thing that you need to do is, please do check your MySQL workbench. You open it and log in with the root password. And if you look at the third on the left, users and privileges, when you click on this, look at that. I have root localhost. And if you look at the account limits, I put that maximum questions as 30,000 here. So this is reflected as part of our earlier command. So please increase all these values: 30,000 maximum updates, maximum connections. You can put this as 100, and then you can click on apply. Similarly, create something like root with a percentage symbol. You know why the percentage symbol? When you write root localhost, the meaning is you can connect to this database only from your system, which is the localhost. If you put a percentage, the meaning is you can connect to this MySQL from any machines. So if you want, you can put that percentage and create a user, and you can tell that percentage means any host is matched. Alright? So all the steps are now completed. Now comes the installation of Sqoop. So what I'm going to do, I'm closing all the windows. And this one I'm adding into my favorites, so that at any point of time I can refer to it. Okay? The next important thing is going to Apache Sqoop download. Right. And look at this. If you are going to this particular site, and then you can see download the latest version. Look at this, 1.4.6 is the latest version. Okay. So let us just click on that download, and then I'm going to click on this particular download button, right? And you can see there is different versions of Sqoop for different versions of Hadoop. And remember that the version that we have is based upon Hadoop 2. So let us download that particular version for Hadoop 1.4.6, because our Hadoop version is version 2.x, right? So we'll click on this and let's save the file. And please look at that. The saving is progressing, and remember, this one is saved onto the download directory, right? Any downloads that are happening in Firefox or Safari will be going inside the downloads folder in Mac, right? So let's wait a couple of minutes until the download is over. Beautiful. The download is completed. Now I'm going to open a command prompt, okay? And in this command prompt, I'm going to cd downloads. Remember that all the files are here, right? So if I write ls-l Apache, Sqoop, this thing, you can see that that file is there, right? It is already there, right? Now what I'm going to do is that, remember that I have another directory which I'm opening in a new Windows session, and you can see that in my home directory there is something called cdlib, and please don't get confused, it is not USR, it is always home directory is users and your Mac name. So users slash Nikita, users slash Kiran, users slash Ajay, like this. Or user slash Siva, etc., etc., correct? So this is the directory, and if you look at the list of the files you have, and Derby, Hadoop, everything here, what you don't have is Sqoop. So what you will do, please look at the green screen, copy, go to the home directory, go to the downloads folder, take the Sqoop file and copy to current directory, which is my lib directory, right? And now if you look at ls, you can see that the Sqoop is being copied. So what you are going to do now is tar xvf. It is a short form for extract verbose file. If you put that v, it will be printing out the verbose of which files are getting extracted. So I am going to extract it. So you can see that the extraction has happened completely, and clear the screen, and if you look at ls, you can see that the Sqoop directory is created here. I don't want to keep unnecessarily the tar.gz file, right? So what I'm going to do is rm star.gz, which is deleting that particular file. And if you look at ls, now I have the exact directory with which I want to work is being copied, right? Now what you need to do, you may need to create a Sqoop shortcut, right? So where will you create the Sqoop shortcut? Remember, we have a cdh545 folder in which you have all the shortcuts available, okay? Your shortcuts might be different, but what I am now going to do is I am going to add a shortcut for Sqoop. How will you add a shortcut? Link -s, which means it's a soft link. And where you are going to do the soft link? /users/Ravi Shankar, and then go to the lib directory, and there is Sqoop, correct? And let me call this link as Sqoop. Done. And now if you look at ls, you will see that there is something called Sqoop. And if you want to see where it is pointing to, use the command ls-l, and you can see Sqoop is pointing to the corresponding directory. Beautiful. Now, once you have created that, what I'm going to do is that add this into the path variable. And how will you do that? You have to go to either the .bashrc or .profile file. We are using .profile, so let's go to .profile file, right? And inside the profile file, you can see that there is nothing called Sqoop, correct? So what we can do, follow the practice after the Hadoop form or before, anywhere you like. You can add a new link, right? And I'm going to call it as export. And please make sure you are not making a spelling mistake. It should be exactly Sqoop home, and it is pointing to users Ravi Shankar Nair, and then dollar, and then CDH is nothing but a shortcut key for CDH 545, and then slash Sqoop is the link that we have created, and don't forget to put the double quotes to finish it, right? So you have added it. Now what you need to do, you have to add into the path. Do you know why we need to add into the path? Then it will be available everywhere, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm coming to the end of this particular path, and then I'm going to add this particular link as well inside the path variables which you have created. So I'm coming to the last just before the path, right? And then I am going to write now dollar. How will you refer as environment variable? Now you can refer it to Sqoop underscore home. Why? Because you already declared it on the top, correct? Sqoop underscore home. And then you finish off this brace and then write slash bin. Okay, remember this is Unix, so the slash is backward slash. Sorry, forward slash. Right, now you have the path variable. So you did two changes in the dot profile. One is adding this into the path and another is creating the Sqoop underscore home variable, right? Yes, all are done, right? If everything is done, if you want to avoid a restart, then you have to make sure that your dot profile is sourced, otherwise it will not take into effect. So dot profile, if you restart, automatically it will take into effect. So I have sourced that dot profile. So now just to check whether everything is working or not, maybe I will type the command Sqoop version or minus version. Let me try. Oh, it is telling it is not found, so there is some issue there. Let us see what is the issue. So Sqoop is not found. So vi again slash dot profile. Let us see whether we have made any mistake or not. There is Sqoop home, and there is Sqoop home slash bin that is being added. So Sqoop home is there, and then the Sqoop home's build is also being added. So there is no reason why should it fail. Let me come back here and let me just check whether the Sqoop home is correctly defined or not. Sqoop underscore home, right? Yeah, it is declared. Yes, there is a mistake. You look at that two slashes, right? So what we need to do is there is some link problem. So CDH 545, and if I look at CD and then CDH 545, and if you look at ls minus L, you can see that it is having a trailing slash, and that slash, this is creating that particular issue, right? So what we can do is we can just change it. How? rm minus rf Sqoop. I am deleting that particular soft link. ls minus L. There is no Sqoop now. And let us now take that old command that we have written to create that Sqoop link, and I am going to remove this particular slash and ls minus L, right? And then let us do one more source dash dot profile, right? And then let us type Sqoop and see whether is it better. So this is not the place where the error is there. I think it is in the export maybe. So vi slash dot profile. So that's not the earlier one was not the issue. So let us see where the Sqoop is defined. Users Ravi Shankar Nair. there is the problem. Okay, instead of CDH, what we have done CHT, which is a big spelling mistake. So CDH, escape shift is set, and now do one more time the source.profile, and this time it must work. So it is working now. So Sqoop is telling, so if I write Sqoop version, I should get the version as Sqoop 1.4.6, which is showing that we are good so far, right? So Sqoop is created. Okay. Now we may need to use, whenever you are using the Sqoop internally generates MapReduce. So it has to know where this particular MapReduce and everything is installed, which is your Hadoop home, correct? So how will you do that? Let us go to cd Sqoop home. Where is Sqoop home? You can easily write like this, Sqoop home. It will automatically go to Sqoop home. So if you look at PWD, now you are in Sqoop home. So ls, and you can see that if you are going inside the conf directory, conf is always for any installation configurations, right? There is a Sqoop environment template.sh. sh is the file that you should change for Mac. If it is Windows, it will be CMD. Okay, so what I'm going to do is that let us create a copy of this Sqoop env.template.sh into Sqoop, very important spelling, Sqoop underscore env, and then you have to put as .sh. So we are using the template to create the original file, right? Okay. Now if you look ls, there is Sqoop environment hs, and then Sqoop underscore env underscore sh. Let us go inside, and please look, there are two places which you need to which you need to put it. What is your Hadoop home, where your bin/Hadoop is available? So let us go to this one, uncomment it. That means that hash symbol should not come. And where is your Hadoop directory? Users, right? Lib slash, what is the directory name? Let us open another command prompt to find out what is that directory, right? So cd lib and then cd Hadoop, right? That's the directory where bin is there. So if I look at pwd, users /lib/hadoop 2a60, this is the thing to come. So I'm copying it, right? And I come back here and then I'm going to paste it, right? This is common home, right? And your Hadoop MapReduce home, is it different? No, it is not different. It is exactly the same. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this. Right? And then copy and uncomment this line. And then right click and I pasted it. Done. There is nothing you need to do for now, and let's see if something else is needed. Alright, and now very important, we are going to use Sqoop to copy the data from MySQL into Hive. So what do you need? You need the MySQL jar file. Any database, if you want to connect, the corresponding jar file should be there. And where are you going to copy it? You should copy it inside the lib directory of Sqoop. There is a lib directory. So I'm going to lib, and if you look at ls, there are so many files here. I'm going to copy the MySQL data file. So how will you get the MySQL file? Open your browser and then type MySQL JDBC jar download and press enter. It is also called as connector J. So don't get confused. It is the same JDBC jar file. So when you click, you will see there is a platform independent connector file, and I'm going to download the zip file. and please always select no thanks and then save it. Right? So now you have come back to the prompt, and remember it is there in the downloads folder, right? So let us go to the downloads folder first. Downloads, ls, and you can see that there is this particular file. So I am going to type unzip, and what was the name of the file? MySQL connector file, right? So it is unzipped into a directory called MySQL connector. So cd MySQL connector, and now ls. Look at the file. This is the file that you need. Okay. So what you are going to do? Cp this particular file to where? To the lib directories where the Sqoop installation lib. Correct? Now let us see whether it has copied or not. Lib slash the Sqoop slash lib, right? And now ls minus l MySQL connector jar. Yeah, it is there. It is copied. Right? So now I am in this directory. So you can see that in this directory I copied MySQL jar file. Hopefully everything should be fine, and let's see whether is there any issue. So what are the things that we need to do? Since this is the place where we have Hadoop and everything installed, what I'm going to do is I'm going to start the network server and all those things. You may start it individually, but for me I created a script to start everything. So I'm running my script. You will be running first the start network server of Derby followed by startall.sh. So let the data node, name node, and all the things start, right? Wait till it completes. It takes few seconds in order to complete this particular process. Right. And once you have done this, now we can do a Sqoop to check whether everything is working or not, right? So how will you do that? We are going to connect to this particular what to say, the MySQL server, and from the MySQL server we are going to take the file and then we are going to run this particular thing, and then let us see how this particular thing is working. What I'm going to do is I'm going to execute the code. So just let me check where is the import command for Sqoop, right? So what you will do is you can just go here, Sqoop import from MySQL to Hive is the only thing that you need to type, right? So you can see there will be so many commands there, and then you can see that, okay, there is nice commands. You see here, Sqoop import minus username, all this kind of command is there. So let us take this particular one. So let me write first what I want to do, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to write this command C, and let us open a text edit, and I'm going to paste it, right? Because let us change it. So Sqoop import, whenever you put a slash at the end of a line, that means the next line is a continuation. So Sqoop import connect localhost, and what is a port? How will you know the port? If you look at the MySQL workbench, okay, and if you look at the initial screen and look at the server status, the first link on the left hand side, you can see my port is 3307, and remember default port is 3306. So your system might be using 3306. So please use the correct port. So what I'm going to do here, localhost, I'm going to write 3307, which is mine. You should write your port number, And then I'm going to connect to a database called policies. Remember, we have policies.pdetails table. Username is root, ask for a password, and the table that I'm going to copy is, sorry, not pdetails, insurance details is the name of the table that I have. Okay, you will have your own table. Okay, and it should be imported into Hive. And what should I call for Hive table? Let us call this particular table as um, what default dot, okay, my Hive table, right? Yes. So once you have that, then let us execute this particular thing. So I'm going to copy this, and let's see whether we have any errors or not. So I'm going to paste it. Got? It is asking the password because we gave -p option. So what is the password of MySQL? Root, which is my password, and then press enter. So you're getting an error. The error is error reading the database. No statement issued with any streaming results are open and in use on a given connection. Maybe because this particular one is on, and let me quit and then try one more time. No columns to generate. So please set $zookeeper underscore home to the root. But these are all warnings. I don't have to worry about that. So it is executing the SQL statement from the insurance details, error reading from the database, okay. Let me do one thing. I am just going to copy this particular line, and just to show you how we will troubleshoot, hopefully to get a solution, and then I'm going to enter it. So look at that. There are many people who has reported this particular thing. So let us read one by one. Right. So it is actually a kind of bug. Okay. Let us look at any other good clue on fixing that one. Okay, he's telling that add minus minus driver to the end of the query. Let's try that one, and then let us figure out why it is so. So if I go here and then I'm going to paste the same query, but, oh sorry, I'm going to paste the same query, right? But I'm going to write before this particular value the one which I copied, right, which is minus minus driver. So I'm pasting it, com.mysql.jdbc.driver, and then I press enter. Let's see. Beautiful. So you have to specify the driver. And if everything is correct, you are not going to get any error. So far, you have seen the complete configuration from scratch. right? So there is a map and reduce is going on, and we will show you the fun. Uh, After you complete it, now I am going to start Hive. And remember, the name of the table that we have created is what? Hive, my Hive table, right? Show tables. Enter. There you go, my Hive table. And since we have given a limit m equal to 1, so it should be limited by 1. So let us write select star from my Hive table, right? And then press enter. You can see that it has copied the data completely. This is how you will move the data from any relational database. So what will be the steps for connecting to Oracle? You will have the corresponding jar file and you will be giving the corresponding URL in the Sqoop command. What will you do if you want to connect to, let's say, Teradata? The same case. Hopefully, this is clarifying some of the issues that we had today. So it was just because of the driver. And now let us figure out why we should give a driver name. Let's read this particular thing. At the end of the Sqoop, such as the minus minus driver parameter forces Sqoop to use the latest MySQL connector Java installed for the MySQL DB on the Sqoop machine. Without this parameter, the Sqoop job when executed will fail. Again, why it is failing? Okay, why Sqoop needs, right? Why Sqoop needs minus minus driver as the parameter, right? So let's see whether anybody has provided that. Okay, right. Oh, this is no. Uh, oh, right. So my search string was wrong. Okay, another way of doing is that why Sqoop needs uh, driver as option and failing if not provided. Sqoop user guide. Sqoop will use the default installations. You need to install JDBC driver yourself. Okay, I think that if we don't put it, the Sqoop is going to take the driver from a default location. Since we have not installed the driver, I got it. Okay, so if we install the driver, it will go to a default location. Since we just downloaded the zip file, we have to explicitly say what is the driver name, and I think that's what is happening. Sqoop import minus driver class name. Manually specify JDBC driver class to use. So we have to specify manually. Here it is Sqoop under MySQL data bonus. So it is important that you not use the URL. If you intend to use Sqoop in the connect string, you supplies the task. Okay, and then there is another employee, right? Minus p argument should be given, and then use it Sqoop and install it. It should be in the Sqoop form. If you install it from our user lib Sqoop lib, each driver has a driver. For example, my has a driver class coMSQL refer to the database, and the class must be okay. This class must be provided as an argument to Sqoop with minus minus driver. All right. That's the reason why we were not getting the correct answer, and so it's very clear that if we are not specifying it, it is going to take the default location. And since we have not installed the driver by putting into the path or slash usr slash lib or slash etc kind of directories in the system, I think that is why we need to provide it. Okay, if I get more details, I will let you know. Thank you very much, and please enjoy this particular video, and then please learn. It is giving you full step-by-step instructions. Thank you. Bye-bye.